deindustrialization. A deindustrialization is a process of social and economic change caused by the removal or reduction of industrial capacity or activity in a country or region, especially heavy industry or manufacturing industry. It is the opposite of industrialization. Multiple interpretations. There are multiple interpretations of what this process is. Cairn, Cross and Lever offer 4 possible definitions of deindustrialization: a straightforward decline in the output of manufactured goods or in employment in the manufacturing sector. This, however, can be misleading because short-run or cyclical downturns may be misinterpreted as long-run deindustrialization, a shift from manufacturing to the service sectors, so that manufacturing has a lower share of total output or employment. This may also be misleading, however, as such a shift may occur even if manufacturing is growing in absolute terms, that manufactured goods comprise a declining share of external trade, so that there is a progressive failure to achieve a sufficient surplus of exports over imports to maintain an economy in external balance, a continuing state of balance of trade deficit that accumulates to the extent that a country or region is unable to pay for necessary imports to sustain further production of goods, thus initiating a further downward spiral of economic decline. Colonization of different Asian countries by European powers between 18th–20th centuries led to fall in manufacturing and further fall in global GDP share of Asian countries, mainly India, China and Southeast Asia. Explanations. Theories that predict or explain deindustrialization have a long intellectual lineage. Rowthorne argues that Marx's theory of declining profit may be regarded as one of the earliest. This theory argues that technological innovation enables more efficient means of production, resulting in increased physical productivity, i.e. a greater output of use value per unit of capital invested. In parallel, however, technological innovations replace people with machinery, and the organic composition of capital increases, assuming only labor can produce new additional value. This greater physical output embodies a smaller value and surplus value. The average rate of industrial profit therefore declines in the longer term. Rowthorne and Wells distinguish between deindustrialization explanations that see it as a positive process of, for example, maturity of the economy, and those that associate deindustrialization with negative factors like bad economic performance. They suggest deindustrialization may be both an effect and a cause of poor economic performance. Patelis and Antinakis suggest that, to the extent that manufacturing is characterized by higher productivity, this leads, all other things being equal, to a reduction in relative cost of manufacturing products, thus a reduction in the relative share of manufacturing. Moreover, to the extent that manufacturing firms downsize through e.g. outsourcing, contracting out, etc., this reduces manufacturing share without negatively influencing the economy. Indeed, it potentially has positive effects provided such actions increase firm productivity and performance. George Reisman identified inflation as a contributor to deindustrialization. In his analysis, the process of fiat in money inflation distorts the economic calculations necessary to operate capital-intensive manufacturing enterprises, and makes the investments necessary for sustaining the operations of such enterprises unprofitable. Institutional arrangements have also contributed to deindustrialization, such as economic restructuring, with breakthroughs in transportation, communication and information technology, a globalized economy that encouraged foreign direct investment, capital mobility and labor migration, and new economic theories' emphasis on specialized factor endowments. Manufacturing moved to lower-cost sites, and in its place service sector and financial agglomerations concentrated in urban areas. The term deindustrialization crisis has been used to describe the decline of labor-intensive industry in a number of countries and the flight of jobs away from cities. One example is labor-intensive manufacturing. After free trade agreements were instituted with less developed nations in the 1980s and 1990s, labor-intensive manufacturers relocated production facilities to third-world countries with much lower wages and lower standards. In addition, technological inventions that required less manual labor, such as industrial robots, eliminated many manufacturing jobs.